New Superman, issue 6, Gene Luen Yang writing, and Victor Bogdanovich on art.
Yep.
And this was the last issue in the first arc of this book. And it felt like a final issue. Lots of big stuff happened. It was so basically this one was, we ended last time with Keenan and his dad saying, right, let's go off and save this plane because the Ministry of China are using the Starro sort of knockoffs to try and control things to make their plan go. And they go up to, and obviously we know that Wonder Woman and Batman are also on board the plane. They've got Starro on their face. So Keenan and his dad board the plane and basically try and save the day in a Die Hard-esque kind of assault on the plane.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Great Ten are planning to blow up the plane just because that's safer for everyone. They should blow it up.
I went from going, hey, maybe we should listen to the Great Ten to, yeah, these guys, not so great.
Itchy trigger fingers.
You say that it's like they're not necessarily wrong. They're just like not willing to risk.
Just a bit
they play like the safe option, don't they?
Yeah, a bit too quick with it though. They could give them like a bit of time. Like, the plane will be in the air for a while.
And I get how they're more resistant to it because I mean now you have all these villains teaming up with
and it kind of feels like they've seen enough shit where they go, nah, let's just call this one. It's not worth the effort.
Yeah, But I also, when they basically talk, the what's his name? The kid that Keenan was bullying in the very first issue, he's, flying the plane. And they basically tell his dad, yeah, your son's on that plane, he's probably not coming home. And his dad's kind of okay with it, weirdly. Like, I thought that was a weird story point, that we spent that much time on it.
Heartless businessman, kind of thing.
Yeah. And, but I did like a lot of the whole Superman's chi and how his power works. He has to focus it. In certain aspects.
Yeah, he has to focus it so he can access the powers that Superman has. It has to, it's the idea that this is how Superman kind of is all the time, just because of who he is, and Keenan has to sort of align himself with it to access them. So obviously this book's been really funny for his interactions with the Batman and Wonder Woman. Jesus Christ!
And it's Daylon. I remembered it as we started talking.
I knew there was an L in there.
The cat's meowing at me, and I find that whenever the cat's meowing when I'm in the middle of a sentence, it just throws me right off. I've also got a headache, which isn't helping.
Any excuse.
Well, it's been a long day.
But yeah, so we get that, and Batman and Wonder Woman are helping. And
you're skipping over one of my favourite funny moments of this issue.
Yeah, mine too.
So New Superman realizes, or he learned from his homework studying like past supervillains and whatnot, that Starro can be defeated with cold. That you can freeze it off, and he like dunks Batman's head into ice to get rid of it, and he knows that it's worked because while his head's still in the ice, you just hear Baxi go, hey, get your hand off my head, or whatever he says. And he's like, oh, great, it's worked.
Tommy's back.
He hears the attitude from underneath. Yeah, it's good. Also, more paper cut man is always good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit... Like, he had the same, like, reaction to it as us, though, which I loved.
He also... that paper star is a villain. Yeah. Weird.
He threw a throwing star made of paper.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But of course, the big plot points here is that when we get to the end of the fight, the other members of the Justice League of China and the freedom fighters on the plane team up to take on the Great Ten, who are coming in to blow up the plane. And in the ensuing fight inside, when they're trying to get hold of the plane back, Keenan's dad has to take one for the team against his uncle and goes down and seemingly dies. I say seemingly because we'll get to the twist at the end. But so Keenan's lost his father now, as well as his mother from years ago, and we get them sort of at the cemetery as the Trinity looking on, and they basically make a pact to figure out who killed his mother because he knows it was someone in the
and he suspects Dr. Omen because she's got the clearance.
Yeah, and they basically they've formed a bit as a team, and they're like, no, from now on we have our own rules and regulations, or our own principles.
They're becoming a Justice League instead of government stooges.
And they have their little triple fist pump, and that's them making that cry. And then we get what is essentially a Star Wars twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Vader killed your father.
Yeah.
It's that twist. It's that exact twist again.
Yeah.
The only difference here is I don't know if he knew or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's maybe. It could go either way. I think he might have.
Could.
Yeah.
He might have, but I'm not entirely sure that he did.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So the twist at the end is two twists. One is that Keenan's dad is in like a tank, and he might be revived later, like because she mentions that she's keeping him alive somehow, and Dr. Omen is his wife that was seemingly dead, at least from Keenan's perspective from years ago.
Yeah.
So, but then again, it could be the whole, like I say with Darth Vader, dark side seduced him and that effectively killed him. The same kind of thing here, if he does indeed know.
I think though he might not know, and he genuinely believes she was in an accident and she went off grid. She like faked her death to go off grid for some reason.
He did speak to her in the last issue though. Wouldn't you recognise her?
I don't know, because maybe she's changed how she looks or something.
She might have. I mean, that's possible.
Because we haven't seen how she looked before, have we?
Not really.
Well, we've seen her in the flashback. Yeah, we've seen her in the flashback when she was like.
Yeah.
So we did see her. But that's the thing with comic books, though. Like, you could have lots of people looking like each other, and we wouldn't really tell because it's comic books.
Well, that's the joke of Superman and Batman resembling each other so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in costume it's easy, but when they're out of costume, it's like
there was that whole thing back at the start of the New 52, the Court of Owls with Lincoln March, where everyone going, "Oh, he just looks like Bruce Wayne."
Oh, and Capullo had to eat that for 8 issues,
months. Yeah.
So, and it was justified.
Yeah. So two big twists at the end, but I think it was a fine conclusion to the first arc, and having the trinity of China's Justice League kind of bond, and
it feels like the start of an actual team. Like now, they've built it quite nicely.
Which is almost, in a way, it's almost kind of weird then calling it New Superman. I almost wish they just called it Justice League of China, but
yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But it's really Keenan's story,
Well,
we spent more time with him.
So far, but I mean, who's to say like arc number 2 won't maybe focus a bit more on Baxi or Delane?
It does feel like they've limited themselves into maybe having to focus on him a bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas if they had called Justice League of China, you'd get a bit more free reign by going off with the others.
Yeah, but see, what's great though is that Yang's created all these characters that are all nice and new, and it's his sandbox to play in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, JLC is a really cool acronym, so they should just slap that in the cover.
They tried that with Justice League Canada and ended up being United because for whatever weird reason. So,
yeah,
hopefully they can make it work with China.
China's a bigger pubber than Canada, though, so hopefully that'll work.
But again, maybe that's kind of the same reason why it's not Justice League of China. Like they're trying to move away from.
They'd assume people wouldn't buy it because they'd think, it's what.
Yeah, like country. New Superman. Unless you know he's Chinese, like it doesn't play into that by the name.
Yeah, I mean, you very quickly realise that everyone's Chinese and whatnot.
Well, yeah, it's a major part of the book. But if you're just looking at the titles, Just League of China, you immediately know what to expect. Whereas New Superman could be anything really.
It's kind of sad we have to feel that we have to trick certain people into reading a book set in a different country.
Well,
it is.
That's how it works, though.
Well.
Hey, as long as people are reading it.